Good morning, everybody, again. First of all, I want to take this time to apologize. I gave credit where it wasn't supposed to be due. The previous paper, or the previous video, which I read, which was entitled Ian Like Sadie M, wasn't by DarthOmniShadow. No. That was actually by Bo Skunk. So I'm sorry if I gave credit to the wrong person. This here, that I'm holding in my hand, is by DarthOmniShadow. So, but yeah, the other one was Bo Skunk. So I apologize for not really giving the information to credit to the right person. That was my fault. So Bo, if you're watching this, I apologize. You will be credited with the link in the description box of that video, and I will also acknowledge that I meant to say your name. So anyway, speaking of DarthOmniShadow, he did a journal, I believe yesterday or so, where he says, well, his journal, and it's up there, and I'll probably put his name up there too. Reason why I'm tired of Ian haters. This is DarthOmniShadow that says this. So, this is what DarthOmniShadow, who, when I talked about the artistic things, he's the artistic one. No offense, Bo. You know, so that was my fault. So you see, I'm just like Zara Nazarek gave credit to somebody else for packaging, I accidentally gave credit to somebody else for somebody else's journal. But this is actually, like I said, is DarthOmniShadow. Let me make that perfectly clear. This is DarthOmniShadow's. The other one before that was Bo Skunk. So that was my fault. You know, it's early, it's morning, you know, still tired, drinking coffee to wake up before I go and take care of stuff. But anyway, and surprisingly watching college football in Notre Dame, which was kind of surprising. But anyway, this is DarthOmniShadow's video. This is reason why I hate Sadie M haters. And again, like I said in the previous video where I accidentally gave credit to him, he's a great artistic person, right out of high school. But definitely he's the kind that if he was to apply for an artistic job at Archie Comics, he'd probably get hired on in an instant. But anyway, this is his journal, reason why I'm tired of Ian haters. And he says, and I quote, "Alright, I know this is past due, but be grateful I did this." Okay, now as some of you already know, I support Ian Flynn. In my honest opinion, I believe he made the, capitalized, comic series more interesting than what Penders and the other guy under his wing has done. Sure, I'll give credit to Penders for giving some, capitalized, interesting stories, minus the endgame arc, because that's one of the most famous ones, and I don't want to point that one out. But he also garnered some hate as well. Need I remind anyone of Sally slapping Sonic incident? Actually, that was Carl Bowler's, Darth. That was Carl Bowler's. Or how about Sonic kissing Bunny after he saved her from Adam? Not good enough? Well, how about whenever he added the pointless storyline of giving... how about whenever he added the pointless storyline of them going back to goddamn school? Sorry, Lord, don't mean to say your name in vain there, but that's what he said. What was the point of that? What was the point of that? Really? It just boggles my mind how everyone's putting, capitalized, so much hate on Ian just because he butchered the characters we've grown to know and love. In what way, without telling me how he roboticized Sally just because this is becoming too obnoxiously stupid, is he butchering them? Like I've told many people, Sally isn't dead. I agree there. She's just roboticized. There is a fucking... Well, he doesn't capitalize that, but then he says, there is a fucking difference there. One means they're still alive and the other is dead. Roboticized equal still alive. Dead equal erased from storyline. Had Ian wanted to kill off Sally, don't you think he would have done that way, and he capitalizes this, way earlier as opposed to dragging on the storyline right now? I think he did this to add a sense of hesitation in the heroes. Since Sally used to be one of their good friends and now she's roboticized, they have to think twice about attacking her, even though some of the characters have gotten over this. Also, why stab at the Sonic-Sally relationship here now? Also, why stab at the Sonic-Sally relationship here now? It's been going on for nearly the entire comic series, and don't give me this bull crap about anything Sonic Amy related, because that's just redundant. Simply put, if they do Sonic Amy, the same thing is going to occur with the Sonic Sally fans. They'll just do the exact thing. Excuse me. They'll just do the exact same thing everyone's doing now, complaining about. They'll just do the exact same thing everyone's doing now, complaining about the Sonic-Sally relationship / Sonic-Amy relationship. Complaint after complaint, it's getting a little too obnoxious. As for me, hey, I like both relationships, so I'm on for whomever. But Archie is focused on the Sonic-Sally relationship as far as I know. That I do agree. I mean, I will admit, in the past, I used to be totally against Sonic and Amy, but after watching Sonic X and seeing how, I'll give him credit, Ian Flynn, in my opinion, matured Amy enough that even in 222, she's like saying, hey, you know, I know me and Sonic will be together someday, but right now if Sonic being with Sally makes him happy, it makes me happy, and I'm cool with that. So, and to me that shows a lot of maturity, and I like that. And also, what they did, despite how you feel about her in Sonic X, I think they did a great job with her there. Okay, continuing on, and I quote from DarthOmniShadow. I also want to stress this little factor. Had Penders still remained in the lead writer's position, do you think he would have kept the comic in production, or do you think he would have ran it into the ground like he hinted at in some of his interviews? Quotation, ran it into the ground. I mean, by killing off very important key characters to the comic only. Characters such as Sally, whom he clearly stated he was going to kill off in a later issue. Does he have any idea how much backlash from the fan base he would have gotten on from that move had he still been lead writer? That's a good point, Darth. Good point. Now I want to stress the fact that Ian does know how to write Now I want to stress the fact that Ian does know how to write pretty complex stories. Go check out his Sonic Other M webcomic and see what I mean. Sure, they are hard to follow, but I love complex storylines, for they make me want to think it through and put the pieces together. If you guys are honestly going to bicker about how Archie's storylines are, quotation, too complex, then you must be dumb. Not to be such a hard ass, but come on. Do you want a simple story with hero versus villain and a happy ending, or a storyline with hero versus hero turned villain and an ending with consequences that would haunt the main characters? In all honesty, a simple storyline is too predictable and boring than the latter to me. I can remember falling asleep reading an issue with Penders as head writer because of how boring the issue was. Can't remember it though since it's been so long ago. For the people in the middle, on which side to choose, anti-Archie or pro-Archie, you may disagree. You may agree or disagree with my rant, and you have a right to your opinions. Thank you, Darth. That's what I've been trying to tell people. Before I end this, I want to also point out something. Okay, before I end this, I want to also point something else. Okay, before I end this, I want to also point something out. There have been other writers that have fucked up superhero storylines before. One that stands out firmly in my mind would be the Marvel superhero Spider-Man. Anybody remember the comic One Last Day? Or One More Day? No? Go look it up and come back to me whenever you see why I compare this incident with what's going on with Ian Flynn's, with this Ian Flynn is a bad writer business. I have my guns loaded, and I'm ready for your objections or disagreements, so fire off your rounds and I'll return fire. Easy. DarthOmniShadow. Yeah, I totally agree right there with you. This is, to show I'm in the middle big time. I totally agree with what you said here, Darth. I mean, Ian Flynn, if he felt like it, he could have killed off Sally a long time ago. He could have done the same with Bunny and Antoine and Rhoda and all that. But the thing is, he is a fan. And of the characters, we could see that clearly. But, again, it goes back to what I said in the video where I accidentally gave you credit instead of Bo Skunk. Like I said, I was tired. It was earlier, so I apologize for that. But it's like I said in that video where I read off Bo Skunk's review, which I again accidentally gave you credit for, so I apologize to Bo if he's listening. But yeah, the reason a lot of fans are hating on Ian, it's just like what I said there. It's because, and I'll provide again another link to it if you feel like it. It's what Zara Nazarek, Sean McLean, said to me. He said basically that just like with when they did the Phoenix Saga back in X-Men, just like with that, this here is a major shift for the fans. When it happened in 230, it was a major shift. Now, just like I said in the previous video, a lot of fans would be used to Sally probably being roboticized for maybe 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 issues, maybe 6 at the most. But not as long as it's been going on. And when you double it, and when you add in the Sonic Universe tie-ins, it kind of doubles the length, and not a lot of fans are happy about that. So it is a major shift. I mean, I can be honest with you, they'd probably accept her if she was just roboticized and left that way. But again, you got to remember that Ian Flynn, give him credit here, wants to take things with Eggman to another level. He wants to show Eggman as a real viable threat now by saying, hey, if he can take somebody that's been roboticized, modify them and weaponize them to show that he is that much of a threat, and that he will be willing to do that to every other citizen he can ever get his hands on to roboticize, what makes you, what makes you think he won't, kind of deal. It's like, you think he's not a threat, look what he did to Sally. If he's willing to do that to her, what do you think he'll be willing to do to other people he'll want to roboticize and maybe legionize? And that, to me, is a great move. As much as, like I said previously, I don't like what he did to Sally. I'll be honest with you. But, it's all about character development and taking things to another level. And the thing is, it's also about doing things that fans wouldn't expect. So that is why, just as I mentioned in the previous video, Darth, why people are kind of upset about this. It's just like what Sean McLean, Zara Nazarek said to me. It's all about shift in the storyline. It's about doing something that after so long, I mean, this character being in the comic for as long as she has been, for the character being on the show for the way she was, in which apparently is going to probably come back on October 1st on this TV, on the This TV network. The thing is, because of her long-time appearance with the show, in Christmas Blast, in the Sonic and Sydney stage show at Sega World, if you want to count that, which I'm pretty sure you do, the junior novels, and again, most importantly, the comics, and especially her own 3-part comic miniseries spinoff that she had back in the mid-90s. You know, it's just like, again, it goes back to what Zara Nazarak said to me, and I mentioned in the previous video. It's basically a huge shift. It's a shift that not a lot of people, because of her being around and being given all this opportunity, being showcased the way she was, it's a big shift, unexpected shift that not a lot of people, even after 8 to 7 issues after it's occurred, after her roboticization has occurred, not a lot of people are going to, you know, be used to still, because it's like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Or, whoa, I didn't see this coming. Or, and you know, and that is why you have people like this one person that I'll talk about later, you know, asking when is the climax going to happen and such, you know, because, you know, double the length and everything. But again, I do give you credit where it's due. I do agree with what you said. And when you said one more day, what you called one last day, you know, I tried even comparing that. You can watch my video, Darth. And a lot of people are saying, no way, it's nothing like that. Which pretty much answers your question. So, but again, this is just my video reading off DarthOmniShadow's journal entry of why he hates Ian haters. And again, I agree with most of what he says there. You know, Pender's, again, I'll give him credit too. He did some great stories. Endgame aside, which was a classic, he's done some great stories. But again, to correct you, it was Carl Bowlers, from what people said, that was responsible for Sally slapping Sonic, and the whole discretion or disintegration of the relationship then. So, but you know, I give you he had some ups and downs and stuff like that, but I think mainly, and I'm not trying to give the guy credit here, I think mainly the reason he did the situation with Sonic and Bunny, let's get this out of the way, is because I think he wanted to do a bit of fan service in his own mind. And what I mean by fan service is, even to this day, there are fans that think Sonic would have been better off being paired romantically with Bunny, since they're both, were the kind of like the power couple, or the power team, or power portion of the team. So, but I think that's why he did it, was fan service for those that wanted to see a possible Sonic-Bunny relationship. And that's why you always saw them at times being teamed up in the comics just by themselves. Oh, it's because, people liked them. So, but again, I think that's why he did it. And again, I will admit, he has some great stories. There's no doubt about it. But that's all I'm really going to say. Comment, video, response down below. Tell me what you guys think. Do you agree with DarthOmniShadow like I do, or not? Let me know down below, and I'll talk to you all later.